Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of TWD Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. Guys, Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead has come to an end. It has finally had its season finale, and now it is time to look back on Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead, all the way from the beginning until the very end. What are my thoughts on this season, and what would I rank this season as a whole? This one's going to be doing a review for Fear the Walking Dead. Now that Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead is officially wrapped up, it is time to go back and talk about the entirety of Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead and what we think of this season so far. So, obviously I was very excited to do this video. Obviously we were just kind of waiting until those final few episodes were done, and now we can officially do our overall review of what we think of Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. So, we're going to run through every episode. We're going to talk about the characters, we're going to talk about the plot, and then we are going to make a decision on, Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead and whether or not we think it is the best season of the show. So, all right. Season 6, Episode 1, The End is the Beginning. Very strong episode. Very strong premiere. Honestly, an episode that when I go back and I watch, honestly, I view it as still the best episode of Fear the Walking Dead. I'm going to be honest. I think that is the best episode Fear the Walking Dead has ever done. And honestly, for that, I mean, it's amazing. Morgan coming back, not clear mode, not peaceful Morgan, just, bounty hunter Morgan, coming back, throwing, the plans right in Virginia's face. And just absolutely just, honestly, being a fantastic episode to kick off the season with Emil as a villain, with, just everything they did. Honestly, I thought it was a very, very well done premiere overall. Episode 2, Welcome to the Club. This episode, very big fan of this one as well, too. This one is a Strand episode as he kind of joins Virginia's group, and as he kills Sanjay, and as he, completely just goes full, Strand mode, the Strand that we know with the selfishness kicking in, as well as Daniel faking memory loss, which I also thought was really good, as you see them, develop that with, Daniel's character, and of course Morgan showing up at the end and kind of making a deal with Daniel. So I thought this episode was very well done, and a very good Strand episode, as well as a very good Daniel episode. Episode 3 with Dwight and Althea, Alaska. This one is another fantastic episode. We basically get to see Althea chase a story and trying to kind of find, Isabel again, Ground 17, as we also see Dwight help her do that as they go to the skyscraper and stuff like that, and they go find Beer Lady, as they call her. But obviously we get an amazing reunion by the end of the episode between Dwight and Sherry, which I thought was honestly fantastic, and the fashion they did it was just honestly incredible. Episode 4, this one is called The Key. This episode was a great John episode. In particular, John is not in this, in the show anymore, so definitely this one holds up as a very special episode for the show, as you see John kind of try to figure out who killed this Cameron, character in the, town of Lawton, and, you got Dakota undercover, obviously we know now it was her, but man, they covered that up pretty good, even in the episode, because I didn't suspect her at all, to be honest. But we get, John versus Strand. We get the brutal death of Janice as she gets blamed for it, as she gets, framed for it, just so, Virginia can kind of cover for Dakota. And honestly, it's a fantastic episode, as well as Morgan on the road killing some of the End is the Beginning group members. I honestly think this episode is fantastic for what it is. I think this one honestly shines in a crazy fashion. Episode 5, Honey. This episode is the Dwight and Sherry episode, obviously as they steal the MRAP, and obviously as you get to see them kind of struggle with Sherry and, whether or not she wants to get revenge now and stuff like that. A lot of disagreements, and I really like what they do with her and Dwight, but I really like how they handle Morgan's character in this one. Hey, did you lose something? Because I think I found it, Great scene, man. Honestly, fantastic scene. Great chase scenes. Yes, Sherry was annoying in this one, but at the same time, she was fixated on revenge. She was fixated on the Negan situation. And by the end of Season 6, it makes the Season 6, Episode 5 Sherry not look as bad as she used to. Because she's wrapped up in this revenge thing. And honestly, even though it's frustrating, I do think it is a very, very good episode. And honestly, Episode 5 is honestly underrated. I think the way that one is done is fan-frickin-tastic, to be honest with you. Now, next up, we have Season 6, Episode 6, Bury Her Next to Jasper's Leg. This is the episode at the oil fields, of course, and this one is very special to me for a number of different reasons. Number one, they set up Derek and his character, of course, with the whole, West storyline and how he knew he was in there. He knew his brother was in there. And then not only that, you set up the end as the beginning group, which obviously was, we delve into that more in the second half. Plus, the most important thing about this episode that I can't stress this enough, this is the last episode between John and June. The last episode that John ever sees June in the show. Very special episode for me now looking back. Plus, it's setting up for Virginia's death, because this is when June saves her life, cuts off her hand and all that kind of stuff, and then later shoots her a few episodes later. So this episode, even though I think at first a lot of people didn't care too much, I think this one in retrospect actually was a fantastic episode, and it really was a great character episode for June, for John, and for, a lot of the other characters, kind of throughout. So very well done episode. Episode 7, Damage from the Inside. This one is kind of our so-called mid-season finale, which this one, honestly, I know people hate on this episode, and I'm going to be honest, the only thing I don't like from this one is the Ed storyline. I think they could have easily made him part of the End is the Beginning group, and that maybe, something like that. That would have been an easy fix for him. Maybe like he spray paints the End is the Beginning all over this place, like all over this house he has. I think that would have been a really cool, kind of connection, because then he would have been related to something, not just a random outcast from Virginia's community, But I really like Victor Strand. I like the standoff between him, Alicia, and Morgan. Morgan's return in this one was fantastic. The cliffhanger with Grace, I thought, was also really amazing. Some references to the stadium, and honestly, yeah, this episode really gave me some creepy vibes as well, too, at times, and honestly, I think this episode is honestly, it's great. It really is. I think it gets a little bit too much hate, to be honest, because aside from Ed, I don't know. I think this one's honestly really good. So that is a half season of Fear the Walking Dead that is damn near perfect. I mean, it's damn near perfect for me. So good. I mean, honestly, such a just awesome half season of Fear the Walking Dead. Now we get into 6B. Season 6, Episode 8, The Door. Now, man, what the hell happened to this season in this episode? A random death for John Dory. A terrible Dakota episode. A terrible episode, even from Morgan and John. I just wasn't a fan of the way they treated those characters in this one. Very random, not a fan of how a lot of this stuff was executed. It was definitely a sad episode, so I'll give it credit. It did its job to make it, really sad. But that's not the highest compliment in the world. And honestly, this episode easily is the worst of this season. I'm not a fan of a lot of what they do in this one. They off a amazing character in a terrible way. And honestly, I can't respect this episode, guys. I'm sorry. Episode 9, Things Left to Do. I like this episode. I think this episode is really good. We get the attack in Lawton. We get the kind of, the June getting revenge for John at the end as she shoots, Jenny and stuff like that. Morgan and the scenes between him and Jenny, I thought was really good. Like, yeah, you sent a bounty hunter after me, you killed me, you did all this, you took my people. Yeah, I'd kill you if I could, love that line. And honestly, I think a lot of this episode, even though there were some bumps along the way at times, I think this episode is actually a really, really great episode, and I think it's a great end to the Pioneers storyline, in my opinion. So, Season 6, Episode 10, Handle with Care. Not a fan, guys. Not a fan of this episode. It's essentially just an episode where Daniel gets messed around with by Rolly now, which we also know. Not a fan of the Rolly twist either. I'm not a fan of where that storyline goes. But essentially, it's just a Daniel episode. He thinks he's losing his crap. We know now he wasn't. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's a real waste of time, if you ask me. The only thing that really moves the story forward is, I guess, the scenes between Daniel and Strand, when he says, like, hey, like, you have to eat soup for the rest of your life. Like, imagine that. I like that scene because it makes you feel bad for Daniel, and, Strand kind of realizes what he did to him. But I don't know, man. I just, I'm not a fan of this episode in retrospect. I gotta be honest. Now, Season 6, Episode 11, man, this one's creepy. I mean, this one is real creepy with Riley, with a little bit of Teddy at the end, but in particular, Riley, really giving me some creeper vibes. Really like the end is the beginning group. Like, it's like, when you look at it, what do you see? And it's like, there's such a sick mentality in Riley's head that it's like, we don't even know what the hell he sees in these, dead, walkers and stuff. Really cool. Alicia was an absolute badass in this episode. And honestly, a lot of great things in this one, came out of it. I think it's a great episode for Wes. I think the storyline with Derek was really, like, hit home, and honestly made me care a lot for the Wes character, more than I thought I was ever going to care about the Wes character at all. Seeing his brother and seeing what he has to do and has to, like, kill him because his brother's lost it and he's just so crazy and wrapped up into this, kind of facility, that the end is the beginning group is kind of, the bullshit that he's feeding them. I think it's honestly amazing. I think it's a very well done episode, and it sucks that this group didn't go anywhere, because honestly, this episode individually, though, very well done. I think there's a lot of great stuff in this one. In Dreams, episode 12, it's a decent episode. I like some of the stuff. I do think this is one of the only trip out episodes of TV I actually didn't mind. Kind of interesting seeing an alternate reality. I do like how there's a sad story in the end, and that Grace actually, doesn't, her baby is gone. And it, the whole thing of Athena, really like the Athena storyline they did in this one as well. And honestly, I don't know. I think this one is pretty darn good, to be honest. The only gripe I have is some of the Riley stuff when he just kind of runs away after getting stabbed. That could have been done a lot better, but aside from that, I thought it was a pretty good episode overall, and a good Grace episode for sure. JD, episode 13, holy frig, man, what did they do here? This is, like, honestly, for me personally, one of the best episodes, easily the best episode of 6B. But man, they introduce John Sr. They actually start to slowly redeem Sherry in this one. They have an amazing storyline with Dwight and Sherry in this one that I thought was really good. June is a fantastic character. As you see, a lot of paying respects to John. The note that was really sad, as you hear John actually forgave his father for leaving him all those years back. You see the final conclusion of the Pioneers with the death of Hill. And honestly, just the scene between Morgan and John Dory Sr. at the very end when they say, like, hey, this man you're up against, I know a lot about him, he's not going to stop, and Morgan's like, let's get to work. Guys, this is like a perfect episode of Fear the Walking Dead. Honestly, JD, this one has to be acknowledged, because this one, man, I don't know, man, they done something special with that episode that honestly none of the episodes in 6B did just as well. Episode 14, which is called, man, what is this one called again? Mother. That's right, Mother. So this one, see, it's that bad that I forget the episode name. Not a fan of this one. Riley, he's good, but he's only in 2 seconds. But I mean, aside from that, you've got Teddy, who is a really goofy villain, if you ask me personally. The character is just, honestly, looks very weird, very unrealistic. Plot armor at its finest in this one, with Alicia and with Cole and that crap. And that's not to mention Cole, what a crappy return. I mean, honestly, and such a pointless return for a character that I didn't care about, And honestly, I don't know. You slightly confirm Madison's death, so I guess that's a point I guess you could kind of give it. But I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan. I think this episode suffers tremendously, and honestly, a lot of stuff just did not work. And in particular, the biggest thing that didn't work, Cole. I don't understand what they were trying to do, if they were trying to make him intimidating or what. But man, it failed. I mean, it absolutely failed royally. So, episode 15, USS Pennsylvania. This is the submarine episode. I like this one. I think this one actually is pretty good. As you see Strand, kind of the selfishness kick in again, as he tries to sacrifice Morgan. I think a lot of that stuff is really crazy. But again, the plot armor, guys, at its finest at the very end of the episode, as they launch the missile, you've got, literally Riley and Teddy. They don't even kill them. They've already set off this thing. You got Daniel out there with his buddy Sarah. It's a big stick. And you've got frickin' these two that just get spared by Morgan and, Strand. Like, honestly, I don't get it. As you see Riley, it's like, oh, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Like, I'm like, man, I don't know. So this episode, it is good. I just think there are some flaws in there, and I think there are some things that they could have done better. But it's a pretty good penultimate for a finale, I would say, in retrospect. And then, guys, the season finale of Season 6. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I don't like this episode. I don't like this finale. I really don't. I think there's a lot of weird deaths like Rolly, like Riley, like Teddy. Dakota's death I like, though. I think Dakota's death is good. And I would have liked Teddy's death if it was by the hands of John Sr., but because it wasn't, and it was just Dakota shooting him, I wasn't a fan of this one. A lot of fake outs, a lot of weird storylines. I did like the Dwight and Sherry stuff and parts of the Strand stuff, but again, there's flaws all over this episode. I mean, it's honestly, you can't miss any of these flaws. They're absolutely everywhere. So, okay. In retrospect, Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. This is how I look at Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. Season 6A is the best half season Fear the Walking Dead has ever done. But as an overall season of Fear the Walking Dead, I'm going to give it to Season 3. I think Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead is the best season of Fear. But I think in terms of, if you came to me and you asked me, what was the best half season of Fear the Walking Dead? Season 6A. So Season 6 still succeeds. It's just that 6B, with the selected few things left to do, the Holding and JD, those episodes I really like. I still like those episodes a lot. But a lot of the other episodes, The Door, Handle with Care, a lot of parts of In Dreams, that one's decent, but the parts of that episode really dumb as well. Mother, USS Pennsylvania is not bad, but it definitely has a lot of plot armor in that one. So, and obviously the season finale as well. So, I don't know, 6B falls short for me, but in terms of a half season, I think 6A is the best Fear the Walking Dead we ever had. But in terms of an overall season, I think I may have to give it to Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, to be honest with you. So, that is that. That is my thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 and the episodes overall. But now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead? Write that down in the comment section below. And of course, guys, that is my thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. So, for a score for this season, for a score for Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, this is going to be, for me personally, a 9 out of 10 season. It's damn near perfect, except for, in my opinion, the lackluster ending of the end is the beginning group. For me, that is where this season falls short, and that is where that big point really gets taken off. And John Dory's death and the fashion they did it. I'm going to give it a 9 because I think there is enough storytelling that's really good this season, but I don't know. There's a lot of things that fall short for me personally. So anyway, that is my thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead. But now I want to hear from you guys. Season 6 of Fear, where does it rank for you? What are your thoughts on all these episodes in this season overall? That is my thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, guys. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching the video. Write your comments in the comment section below. If you guys are new here, click to subscribe and send me videos of Fear the Walking Dead. Follow Dan's working views on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.